Margaret Maggie O'Connor had always believed in the sanctity of family. At 62, she was the matriarch of the O'Connor clan in the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, Ohio. Her home, a sprawling two-story colonial with ivy crawling up the brick, was the heart of every gathering: Thanksgiving dinners, summer barbecues, and Sunday brunches where her famous cinnamon rolls drew neighbors from blocks away. Maggie's pride was her bakery chain, Maggie's Sweet Haven, 3 locations built from scratch after her husband Patrick's death 15 years ago. She'd raised her son, Ryan, alone, pouring love into him and her business. But lately, something felt off. Ryan, 38, a real estate agent with a disarming smile, had been distant. His wife, Lisa, was on a girls' trip every other weekend, leaving their kids, Emma, 7, and Liam, 5, with Maggie. Ryan's best friend, Connor, 39, and his wife, Sarah, 36, were regulars at the house, especially during these babysitting stints. Sarah, with her sharp wit and designer dresses, always lingered after dropping off her own kids for playdates. Maggie noticed the way Sarah's hand brushed Ryan's arm, the way they shared glances when they thought no one was looking. It started with a lipstick stain. Maggie found it on a coffee mug in the sink after a play date last month, a bold red shade Lisa never wore. Then came the text she glimpsed on Ryan's phone when he left it on the counter: "Can't wait for tonight. Kids asleep by 8, from Sarah." Maggie's stomach churned, but she said nothing. She needed proof. That night, alone in her craft room, Maggie opened her laptop and ordered 4 wireless cameras, tiny, motion-activated, with night vision. She'd seen them advertised for home security. If Ryan and Sarah were betraying Lisa and Connor, she'd catch them. The cameras arrived in plain boxes, and Maggie spent a weekend installing them: one in the living room, one in the kitchen, one in the guest bedroom, and one in the basement rec room. She synced them to an app on her phone, password protected, and tested them. Crystal clear. "Lord forgive me," she whispered, setting the final camera behind a stack of board games. "But I need to know." The next babysitting weekend came faster than Maggie expected. Lisa was off to Vegas with the girls again, and Connor was on a work trip. Ryan called Friday morning. "Mom, can you watch Emma and Liam? Sarah's kids too, she's got a deadline." His voice was casual, but Maggie caught the edge of excitement. "Of course, sweetheart," she said, her tone warm but her heart cold. "I'll make lasagna." She spent the day preparing, her hands steady despite the storm inside. She baked cookies for the kids, set up crafts in the dining room, and tucked a bottle of non-alcoholic wine in the fridge for herself. The cameras were live, red dots blinking faintly in their hiding spots. At 4 p.m., Ryan dropped off Emma and Liam, kissing them goodbye. Sarah arrived an hour later with her daughters, Mia, 6, and Sophie, 4, her perfume lingering like a taunt. "Maggie, you're a lifesaver," Sarah said, hugging her. Maggie smiled, noting the red lipstick, same shade as the mug. By 7:30, the kids were bathed, pajamaed, and tucked into the guest room with a movie. Maggie read them goodnight moon, her voice steady as she kissed their foreheads. "Sleep tight, angels." She closed the door, leaving it cracked, and retreated to her bedroom upstairs, phone in hand. The app showed all 4 cameras active. At 8:15, the front door opened. Ryan's voice, low and urgent: "Kids asleep." Sarah's reply, a giggle, out cold: "We've got time." Maggie's breath hitched as the living room feed showed them Ryan pulling Sarah close, kissing her with a hunger that made Maggie's skin crawl. They moved to the basement, out of sight but not out of range. The rec room camera caught them on the old couch, clothes shedding, whispers turning to moans. Maggie's hands shook, but she didn't stop recording. She saved every clip to a secure cloud drive, labeling them by date and time. Evidence. Over the next hour she watched, tears silent on her cheeks. When they emerged, disheveled and laughing, Maggie was in the kitchen, sipping tea, her face a mask. "Kids okay?" she asked, voice steady. "Perfect," Ryan said, avoiding her eyes. Sarah smirked, grabbing her purse. "You're the best, Maggie." After they left, Maggie checked the guest room. The kids slept peacefully. She sat on the floor, sobbing quietly, then steeled herself. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a knife to Lisa, to Connor, to the kids. And Maggie suspected worse. Ryan had been pushing her to sign over Sweet Haven to a family trust he'd manage. Sarah, a lawyer, had drafted the papers. Were they planning to steal her life's work? Maggie didn't sleep. By dawn, she was at her desk, printing screenshots from the footage, blurred but unmistakable. She called her lawyer, Helen, a no-nonsense woman who'd handled Patrick's estate. Over coffee at a diner, Maggie laid it out: the affair, the trust papers, her suspicions. "They're screwing you over, literally and figuratively," Helen said, scanning the images. "We can fight the trust, but you need more than this for leverage. Public exposure could backfire." "I don't want to hurt the kids," Maggie said. "But Ryan and Sarah need to face consequences. Lisa and Connor deserve the truth." Helen nodded. "Control the narrative. Host a big event. Accidentally play the footage. Make it undeniable but not cruel to the innocent." Maggie's eyes lit up. The annual Willow Creek barbecue was in 2 weeks, her house, her projector for the kids' movie night. She'd rig it to malfunction and play the clips. She'd invite the neighborhood, Lisa, Connor, and ensure Ryan and Sarah were there. The cameras would stay active, catching their reactions. She spent the next 10 days preparing. She ordered a new projector, claiming the old one was glitchy. She edited the footage into a 5-minute reel, intimate moments pixelated for the kids' sake, but clear enough for adults. She hid the file on a USB labeled Family Slideshow. She invited 50 neighbors, Lisa and Connor, saying it was a celebration of family. Ryan and Sarah RSVP'd eagerly, unaware. Maggie also met Lisa secretly. Over tea, she hinted at concerns about Ryan without spilling everything. "Watch him closely," she said. Lisa, trusting but uneasy, agreed to come early to help. The day of the barbecue was perfect, sunny, 78 degrees, the backyard blooming with Maggie's roses. Tables groaned under potato salad, ribs, and her famous cinnamon rolls. Kids ran through sprinklers, adults sipped lemonade. Lisa arrived at noon, helping set up, her eyes scanning for Ryan. Connor came with his grill tongs, joking about his legendary burgers. Ryan and Sarah showed up at 3 p.m., hand in hand, playing the perfect couple. Maggie greeted them warmly, her smile ablaze. "So glad you're here." The kids, Emma, Liam, Mia, Sophie, played tag, oblivious. The cameras, still hidden, recorded everything. At 7 p.m., as the sky turned pink, Maggie clapped for attention. "Time for the slideshow. Kids, grab blankets." Families settled on the lawn, the projector humming. Maggie's heart pounded as she plugged in the USB. "Technical difficulties last year," she lied, "but this one's foolproof." The screen flickered. Instead of vacation photos, the reel began. Ryan and Sarah in the basement, kissing, undressing. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lisa froze, her lemonade spilling. Connor dropped his tongs. Ryan bolted upright. "Mom, what the hell?" Sarah shrieked, "Turn it off." Maggie feigned shock, fumbling with the remote. "Oh no, wrong file." But the footage played 5 minutes of damning truth. Neighbors whispered, some filming on phones. The kids, confused, were ushered inside by a friend. When it ended, silence fell. Lisa stood, tears streaming, and slapped Ryan across the face. "You bastard." Connor lunged at Sarah, roaring, "My wife." Neighbors restrained him. Ryan stammered, "It's not what it looks like," but Sarah bolted, tripping over a chair. Maggie grabbed the mic. "I'm sorry, everyone. I installed cameras for security after break-ins. I never wanted this public, but Lisa and Connor deserve the truth." Lies wrapped in truth, she'd planned every second. The barbecue dissolved into chaos. Neighbors left, buzzing with gossip. Lisa, sobbing, confronted Ryan in the driveway, captured by Maggie's outdoor camera. "How long?" she screamed. Since last year, he admitted, had bowed. Connor, restrained by friends, vowed divorce. Sarah's car peeled out, her kids crying in Maggie's guest room. By midnight, police arrived not for violence, but because Sarah tried to break into Maggie's office safe, thinking the trust papers were there. Maggie's silent alarm tipped them off. Sarah was arrested for attempted burglary. Ryan was questioned but released. Lisa filed for divorce the next day, taking the kids. Connor did the same. Maggie gave Lisa the full footage, urging her to protect her share of Ryan's assets. Helen froze the trust, citing fraud. Sweet Haven was safe. Ryan begged forgiveness, showing up drunk. "Mom, I messed up. Sarah seduced me. The business, it was her idea." Maggie, stone-faced, handed him a box of his childhood trophies. "You're no son of mine. Leave." Sarah's law firm fired her. Her reputation tanked. Social media exploded with the barbecue video, dubbed Willow Creek Scandal. Ryan's real estate deals dried up. Both moved away, tails between legs. Maggie and Lisa grew closer. Lisa moved into the guest room with Emma and Liam, helping at the bakery. "You saved me, Maggie," she said, frosting cupcakes. The kids, resilient, adjusted, calling Maggie Gram with giggles. Connor visited weekly, bonding with his daughters. He and Maggie shared coffee, laughing over the absurdity. "You're a badass," he said. She winked. "Don't mess with the baker." Maggie expanded Sweet Haven to a fourth location, hiring Lisa as manager. She started a scholarship for single moms, funded by profits. The cameras came down, but her vigilance remained. One evening, as snow fell, Maggie sat with Lisa and the kids, watching Elf. Emma asked, "Why'd Daddy leave?" Maggie hugged her. "He made bad choices, sweetie. But we're family and we're enough." Lisa squeezed her hand. "You gave us a future." Maggie smiled, her heart full. The cameras had exposed betrayal, but her love rebuilt what was broken. Sweet Haven wasn't just a bakery, it was her legacy, sweeter than ever.